Ferrari, the most evocative name in motoring, synonymous with style and beauty to look at, power and excitement to drive. For many, the very essence of male machismo. Now, some men seem to take it as a personal affront that a woman should be allowed to drive a Ferrari, but it's not just a male prerogative. And in fact, last year for Top Gear, I had the chance to drive the Ferrari 512 TR, and it didn't take me long to realise the true Ferrari magic. It was a fabulous car to drive, but having said that, a jolly tiring one. After a day's driving, the heavy clutch made my left leg really ache, and my left hand was sore from gear changing. Now Ferrari seem to have responded to my difficulties by eliminating all that heavy clutch work. But this Ferrari Mondial T isn't automatic, even though it doesn't have a clutch pedal. In fact, the clutch is operated electronically by this gear lever, conventional gear lever, in the classic Ferrari gate. So, how's it work? Well, ignition on, then we select the right gear, in this case reverse, handbrake off, and then with the foot on the accelerator we go gently backwards. In that respect, this new system is just like the automatic option on the old 412. But the designers at Maranello obviously believe that Ferrari drivers like the involvement of moving a gear lever. On the open road, there's no mistaking it's a Ferrari, and without the heavy clutch, gear changing couldn't be more straightforward. But this is when it really comes into its own, the system. When you're driving slowly through town, you can more or less leave it in second or third, and quite honestly forget all about it. But have to come to a halt sign, and it soon reminds you that it's not a conventional automatic. Try and move away in third, and the buzzer sounds to tell you you've got to change down. But apart from that proviso, well, it couldn't be simpler. Trickling through traffic is no longer fraught with the embarrassing risk of stalling. But it takes a little time to teach your left leg to stay dormant while your left arm is still changing gear. If the automatic clutch is intended to make the vehicle more practical to use, what about the rest of the car? Well, the instruments are very well laid out and you can actually see them, and the controls are simple and easy to use. Something that isn't so simple and easy to use is the sun visor. You either need either very thin fingers or very long nails to get this down, particularly in a hurry. Now, the Mondial is a four-seater, but frankly the two seats at the back in terms of head and leg room really only suitable for someone up to the age of about 15. Now, I can only assume that Ferrari drivers like to travel light, because in terms of space inside, well, there's no glove box. They've got the thinnest door pockets I've ever seen. One small plastic tray in the front and just a box between the two rear seats. But outside, it does get better. Rather like the sun visor, it's a bit of a fingernail breaking exercise opening the bonnet. Inside, well, there is luggage space, unlike the Honda NSX or the Lotus Esprit. About the same sort of space as the Porsche 911. And at the rear, well, there is a boot, unlike the 911. About the same sort of size as the Honda or the Lotus. Not enough for the sort of luggage I like to go around with, but certainly enough for a set of golf clubs. But of course, the heart of any Ferrari is its engine. In this case, a 3.5-litre V8 producing 300 horsepower. It's the same engine as that fitted in the 348, but the extra weight of the Mondial means performance is a little down. In the right circumstances, it will accelerate to 60 in a shade over 6 seconds, and top speed is well over 150 miles an hour. But absolute performance is not really the issue. This is a car which you drive for pleasure, for the feeling that it's alive all around you, willing and able to respond to your every command. The automatic clutch certainly makes it less effort to drive, but the gearbox is far from light, and second is often hard to engage. All in all, it makes the Mondial difficult to drive smoothly, especially if you're not in a hurry. Whether it's worth £6,000 on top of the £67,000 for the conventional clutch car is another matter. But for some people, this new device will make a Ferrari a practical proposition for the first time. Well, back down to earth with a bump, and Jeremy and I have been poring over the Citroën, the Nissan and the Vauxhall.
And we've decided to put the Citroën in third place. It represents excellent value for money.